The story begins with a cute beagle dog wandering alone and helpless on the streets. Just then, a man catches him and takes him to a secret lab, locking him inside. It was no ordinary place. It was the lab of Dr. Bursinistar, known to the people of the city as Dr. Evil. Dr. Evil was a mad but genius scientist who wanted to turn ordinary dogs into super dogs through genetic experiments. Dogs that would need no training and no human help. But the city's mayor had rejected his project. Filled with humiliation and rage, Dr. Evil had made up his mind. He would stun the entire city with his experiment. His assistant, Cad, brings the little beagle to the lab for testing. Dr. Evil prepares his special serum. But just then, the frightened little dog starts running. In panic, he dashes around and accidentally knocks over several super serum containers. The serum seeps into his body, his DNA begins to change, and superpowers start developing inside him. Dr. Evil tries to catch him, but he had no idea that this little dog could now break through iron walls. The dog smashes through a 10-meter thick steel wall and escapes. Chaos breaks out in the lab. Fire spreads everywhere, and within minutes, the entire lab is reduced to ashes. Now the little dog was alone, hungry, and lost. He starts searching for food in a pile of garbage. But this area already belonged to 3 other stray dogs. He had no idea about his superpowers, so he gets scared of those dogs and runs away. Running and running, he reaches the road and collides with an oncoming car. That car belonged to Dan Unger, who was once a police officer. Dan steps out of the car and is stunned to see that the dog is completely unharmed. Seeing the innocence in his eyes, Dan smiles and thinks he looks like an angel. He decides to take him home. He had no idea that the dog's collision had left a big dent on his car. The dog sniffs his shoes and lovingly starts licking them. In fact, by sniffing, he had already sensed that this human had a good heart. Dan also likes the dog. He introduces him to his son Jack. Jack was still upset with his father because after his mother's death, Dan had quit the police force so he could spend more time with his son. But in reality, Dan was still so busy with his security guard job that Jack felt lonely. Dan names the dog Shoeshine because he kept licking his shoes again and again. Jack had no interest in keeping Shoeshine at home. So when Dan leaves for work, Jack also heads off to school, and Shoeshine is left alone at home. Shoeshine smells dog food and finds a box of cans. But the moment he tries to open a can, it bursts from both sides. Food splatters all over the wall. He thinks his new owner will throw him out, so he tries to clean up. Just then, a postman arrives at the house. Hearing the sound, Shoeshine peeks out of the window and starts barking. But the postman teases him. Shoeshine just barks loudly, and the window glass and the lenses of the postman's glasses crack. The postman runs away in fear. After the postman leaves, Shoeshine turns around and spots a tennis ball under the sofa. He runs to get it, but accidentally pulls out the entire sofa. A little while later, when Jack comes home, he is stunned by the state of the house. He thinks there has been a robbery. He says angrily, "Who did all this?" And just then, Shoeshine speaks. In a soft voice, he says, "Sorry, this all happened by mistake." Jack's eyes go wide. He cannot believe his own eyes. Shoeshine was equally surprised, because he also did not know that a human could now understand his words. Both stare at each other for a moment and then scream out loud together. A little while later, both reach the park. Jack asks Shoeshine, "Tell me, how did you get these superpowers?" Shoeshine replies, "I don't know. There was a lab, there were some scary people, and then there was a lot of blue and red glowing liquid. After that, everything changed." The two are still talking when Jack's friend Molly arrives with her lovely female dog Polly. The moment Shoeshine sees Polly, his tail starts wagging. He smiles at her and says, "Wow, she looks like Miss Universe." While Molly is talking to Jack, Shoeshine quietly walks over to Polly and starts talking to her. Polly did not even know that he was a talking dog. After some time, Molly and Polly leave. Jack tries to explore Shoeshine's other powers. He is amazed when Shoeshine shows him that he has super strength, super speed, and super hearing. Suddenly, Shoeshine's ears stand up. From very far away, he hears the screaming voices of Polly and Molly. He instantly understands that they are both in trouble. "Jack, they are in danger. I have to go." And he starts running on the road. While running, he realizes that he can not only run but also fly. Shoeshine leaps into the air, and for the first time in his life, he starts to fly. However, he had no experience of flying, so he causes quite a bit of destruction in the air. Still, he arrives on time and uses his super speed to save Molly and Polly from the thieves. All Polly knows is that a flying dog came from somewhere and set everything right. Shoeshine quietly returns home. When Jack comes back, Shoeshine tells him everything. He says, "I made a mistake somewhere. Sorry, I caused a lot of damage." Jack smiles and replies, "No need to apologize, Shoeshine. You saved Molly and Polly's lives." He promises, "I will not tell anyone about your superpowers." Together, they fix the broken things in the house, and their friendship grows even deeper. Just then, there is a knock at the door. It is Cad, Dr. Evil's assistant. He has come looking for Shoeshine. Jack lies. "I don't know which dog you are talking about." Cad is a little suspicious, but leaves without saying anything. In the evening, Jack's father returns home. He gets angry seeing the state of the house. Jack cannot figure out how to explain that his dog has actually become a super dog. Now Jack and Shoeshine start spending most of their time together. A deep bond forms between them. When Shoeshine returns home, Jack is extremely happy seeing his bravery. He says, "You stopped a robbery at the bank. You are not just my dog now, you are the city's hero." Jack decides that he will keep Shoeshine's identity hidden from the world. For this, he makes him a superhero costume, a red cape, a blue suit, and a glowing U symbol on the chest. As soon as Shoeshine puts on that costume, he looks at himself in the mirror and smiles and says, "Now I am not Shoeshine. Now I am Underdog." From that day on, the little dog starts helping people in the city. If someone's child goes missing, he finds them. If thieves are on the run, he catches them. Slowly, the entire city comes to know him. Every newspaper, every TV channel had just one name: Underdog, the flying superhero. But on the other side, Dr. Evil was trying to create another super dog with his serum. He wanted to make another dog like Shoeshine, but all his experiments were failing. In anger, he tells his assistant, Cad, "I need his DNA, at any cost." Cad bows his head and says, "Yes, doctor." Cad comes up with a plan. He disguises himself as an old woman and pretends to fall from a building. Seeing an innocent old lady in trouble, Shoeshine immediately reaches the spot. "Don't worry, I'm here." He flies down and catches her, but then he realizes that the old lady is actually Cad. Shoeshine immediately tries to break free. Cad tightly grabs his collar. Both of them drag along the road. Cad's clothes tear apart. Shoeshine somehow pulls free from the collar and escapes, but Cad takes the collar to Dr. Evil. Dr. Evil sniffs the collar and smiles. "Now I know where he is." From the name written on the collar, he gets Shoeshine's location. Meanwhile, Jack asks Shoeshine, "Where did your collar go?" Shoeshine casually says, "It must have fallen somewhere." A little later, Underdog meets Polly. Polly is still a fan of the little dog. She did not know that Shoeshine was the real Underdog. She says, "I wish Underdog would meet me someday." Shoeshine smiles and replies, "If you call out to him, he will surely come." At night, Polly is alone. She looks up at the sky and calls out, "Underdog, where are you?" And the very next moment, Shoeshine arrives there in his superhero costume. Polly is left amazed. The two walk together, talk together, and for Shoeshine, it becomes a beautiful night. The next day, Jack goes to visit Molly at her house, along with his dear companion, Shoeshine. But at that very moment, Dr. Evil arrives at Jack's house with Cad. He takes Jack's dad hostage and tells him to call for Underdog. Jack's dad did not know until now that Shoeshine was actually Underdog, so he follows Dr. Evil's instruction and calls out loudly for Underdog. Seeing his owner in trouble, Shoeshine immediately springs into action. He takes Jack along and heads out from Molly's house. Flying through the sky in just a few moments, he appears before Dr. Evil. Dr. Evil was cunning. He captures Jack as well, and then tells Shoeshine that if he wants to save Jack and his father's lives, he will have to give up his DNA. To save his dear friends' lives, Shoeshine agrees. Dr. Evil experiments on him and traps all his energy in blue pills. Then he feeds him red pills, which lock away all his superpowers. And now he is left as just an ordinary dog. Dr. Evil does not stop there. He feeds blue pills to all three of his own dogs and turns them into super dogs as well. His goal was now clear: to take revenge on the city's mayor. Dr. Evil and Cad leave from there, and left behind are Jack, his father, and a powerless Shoeshine. But soon, Jack and his father free themselves from their ropes and head out with Shoeshine, taking the red antidote pills along with them. On the other side, Dr. Evil had already arrived at the town hall with his dogs and Cad. His plan was to plant a bomb on the roof of the town hall, which would spread his special serum across the entire city, and all the people of the city would become his slaves and follow only his orders. During this time, Polly also accidentally reaches Cad along with Molly. Cad captures both of them and ties them up with ropes. By now, Jack, Dan, and Shoeshine had also reached the town hall. They see that Dr. Evil has completely taken over the hall, and the people of the city are desperately calling out for Underdog. Shoeshine no longer had any superpowers, but when he learns about the bomb planted on the town hall, he sets out without a second thought to defuse it. Inside the hall, Dr. Evil threatens the mayor. "Rebuild my lab, give me funding, give me security, or this city will be finished." The mayor is about to sign under pressure when the door breaks open and Shoeshine arrives. During a scuffle, the mayor and Dr. Evil both fall to the ground, and at that very moment, Dr. Evil's pocket tears open. The blue pills fall on the ground, and Shoeshine eats them and gets his superpowers back. He was Underdog once again. again. Dr. Evil sees this, and in rage, he orders his super dogs to attack him. Underdog dodges all three of them while running around all over the town hall, and in the midst of the fight, tremendous destruction breaks out. When Dr. Evil sees that even his super dogs are unable to defeat Shoeshine, he himself swallows the blue pills. In just a few moments, his body begins to change. He had become far more powerful than before. Now he himself stands before Underdog with the intention of destroying him. A dangerous and fierce battle begins between the two. Flying through the sky, crashing into the walls of the town hall, they strike each other with full force. Dr. Evil and his super dogs surround Shoeshine from all sides. But just then, Shoeshine cleverly looks at the dogs and says he is using you, only for his own benefit. His words sink into their hearts. Dr. Evil's dogs turn around and attack him. Dr. Evil gets furious seeing this. He activates the bomb planted on top of the town hall. Now only 2 minutes were left. If the bomb exploded, the effect of his special serum would spread across the entire city, and all the people of the city would become Dr. Evil's slaves. Time was very short. Shoeshine quickly rushes outside the town hall. He reaches Jack and says, "Give me my Underdog costume." Jack hands him the suit without any delay. Underdog puts it on and races at lightning speed to save Molly and Polly. He reaches the upper floor of the town hall, unties their ropes, and sets them both free. Then he hands Molly the serum and says, "Give this to the police officers downstairs. The fate of the city is now in your hands." Meanwhile, inside the town hall, the mayor promotes Jack's dad and reinstates him as a police officer. He immediately enters the hall and gives Dr. Evil the antidote. All of Dr. Evil's strength vanishes. He becomes an ordinary human being again. The mayor breathes a sigh of relief. People burst into joy, but the danger was not over yet. The bomb was still ticking. Underdog runs at full speed. He reaches the garden near the town hall and digs a deep hole in the ground, placing the bomb inside it. The moment he comes back out, a powerful explosion goes off. The force of the blast sends him flying into the air, and he goes far away into the sky. Then he crashes to the ground, leaving a big crater. Silence falls everywhere. People are stunned. Tears fill the eyes of Jack and everyone else. They think Underdog is no more. But the very next moment, there is a slight movement, and Shoeshine opens his eyes. The people's happiness knows no bounds. The entire city erupts in applause. Shoeshine looks up at the sky, and without saying a word, flies away so that no one would know that he lives with Jack. Meanwhile, Dr. Evil and his assistant have ended up behind bars, and Shoeshine is now living his life freely with Jack and Polly. He is no longer afraid of any stray dog. Instead, he helps every person in the city, because now everyone knows. Somewhere above this city, Underdog is still keeping watch. For more such heartwarming stories, like the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.